Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. It's land.
Yeah, but isn't this the unplugged version? I don't know. I think it's the unplugged version.
Apologies.
Yes. Señor.
¿Qué tal?
Hey,
Muy bien.
¿cómo vamos?
Muy bien. Well, we're how are you, sir? Thanks for
Me
joining.
alegro. Soy bien.
Let's get your thoughts on what you read on the
Yeah.
on the new Zorro announcement.
Yeah, so it's yet another Zorro announcement. And I'm almost starting to lose track here of how many Zorro projects that they push into development.
Mm-hmm.
But the beauty with this one is that it appears to be like the real Zorro, as in it's going to be Don Diego de la Vega, more traditional Zorro. That certainly is my understanding of it, and not some futuristic hacker or Lady Zorro or something like that, but the new adaptation of the original Zorro. So that's promising. So yeah, excited for that.
Yeah, the part where I was speculating is maybe they are not trying to do the Butchered series that Disney tried, but the 1957 Zorro
That's
from
good.
ABC.
Yeah, that's that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
well,
will be
maybe.
actually nice. That was
Yeah.
a really good series.
Yeah, because who was the one who was the Zorro in that one again? I forget the name. Remind me.
Guy Williams.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if they decided, hey, let's do a reboot of that series and try to make it reasonably similar to what we had before, then it has all the potential in the world to actually be good.
Yeah. You know what we need? A Phantom.
Yes,
series.
we do. We do.
Yeah, that will be amazing. And just make it
Mm.
as it were with the old Phantom on the comics getting married to the daughter of Cristobal Colon and go nuts with that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like there's 21 of them, so you can explore any point in history. I mean, that's like the perfect TV series, the Chronicles of the Phantom, where you have like the 21st Phantom reading the Chronicles. So you have like 400 years of storytelling of different Phantoms in different periods of time.
Well, let's going back to this iteration that they're proposing is like a television show, novella style, a little modern storytelling, but set in Pueblo, Los Angeles. How does that sound to you, Andre?
So that sounds pretty okay. I like the idea of it. I mean, Zorro is very much so a product of its time, both the time when it was written, but also the time when it takes place. Of course, you can't like move it away from that, but I think it's appropriate that you stick within that time frame. That is the Pueblo of Los Angeles, and not the shithole of Los Angeles as it would become later.
Hey.
To say, but yeah.
It's actually very lovely here where we live.
Yeah,
it was a time before
we're very
the
proud
poop
of our
on the
neighborhood in
needles.
Midtown.
well, I'm not saying every single neighborhood. I'm not saying every single barrio.
No, I totally know what you mean. So, it does sound it does sound interesting, but the fact that it's Disney and then that it's Wilmer Valderrama, does that give you any pause at all, or do you have any opinion on that?
I don't have any opinions on that just yet. You will have to educate me because I only learned of this like literally minutes ago. I haven't had the time to do like deep dive and do the kind of research that I normally would do. So you have to help me out there a little bit.
Well, Wilmer Valderrama he's most famous for playing Fez in That 70s Show. He was
that guy.
So this is him right here. And
I didn't recognize him.
Yeah, he's all grown up, a little older gentleman now. He's done a lot of work since then. I just always see him with that Fez energy. So I don't see him as
to get typecast.
Yeah. And then the fact that that's one thing. He's a good actor. He's gotten a lot. He's actually a fine actor. He's got a name. But what do you think of it being produced by Disney?
I think that alone doesn't have to mean anything. Like, really, it's a matter of who are the people that are running the show. If you have sound, good storytellers running it, it being Disney alone is not going to preclude it from being good. Whereas if it's somewhere else, if you don't have the right storytellers, it's never going to be good. But the beauty with Zorro is that it is already naturally diverse. So because here's like the thing, what often comes at a detriment is in companies like Disney and others, that they force diversity in places where it doesn't necessarily fit. Whereas the Pueblo of Los Angeles, 150 years ago, there was diversity there. It was natural diversity. I mean, we are talking of when the Pueblo still was part of Mexico. So then you have like the native Hispanic population. You are going to have some of the native population, as in Native Americans. There's obviously also going to be naturally there should be Black people there. So you already have all the diversity that you can want right there in the storytelling. So that that box is already ticked. So then if you just have a storyteller that understands what the stories are all about, maybe goes and check out the original stories and see, yeah, okay, we've kind of like done the Curse of Capistrano quite a few times already, but you know what, there's a ton of other stories to adapt, which is something that the previous Disney series didn't always do. So then you have like the option of taking the best episodes from there, maybe doing a recent spin on them, plus also adapting the original stories, the ones other than the Curse of Capistrano. You have all the potential in the world to actually make a really good story here. It being Disney doesn't have to be a problem if you have the right people.
Let me ask you this. Yeah. So let's say they have the right people. What is there a difference between Disney branded television and Disney Plus, or is that the same thing? They're saying
I think
the official release here is saying series for Disney branded television.
When they say Disney branded television, it doesn't rule out Disney Plus, but then I would imagine that it's going to be on the other channels that are owned by Disney, like ABC and stuff like that. So then they could be going with an actual broadcast TV series. And that actually would lessen my excitement a little bit, because if they're doing this, I would hope that they would actually go Disney Plus. And
same here.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I do believe that this is probably very, very early days. I don't think that too much has come of this yet. I think that this whole article is fishing for investors and fishing for attention. Because let's look at this publication here. It's like
the Disney's own world.
Yeah, Disney's Disney Park News. So that's like that's certainly one place for Disney News to come out. And then we have here that it's the actor who is developing it for himself for Disney branded television. He will both be executive producing and starring in it. And
I just got a Hollywood Reporter.
Oh, okay, brilliant.
Let me bring that up.
Yeah, let's do that.
And I appreciate Rogue Disney for throwing the story at us, but we're gonna switch it to now to Hollywood Reporter. It's just always good to have
because they may have done some additional digging. Like they're unlikely to just follow up with what is said here. They will typically have made a phone call or two to verify some things. So it would be good to check out what they have.
Yeah, here we go. There we go.
Telenovela style. See, here's some more information already. And see, now that has me slightly less excited again, because we already have a telenovela style Zorro in Zorro La Espada y la Rosa.
Yep.
We already have that.
But somehow I thought about modern telenovelas. Don Diego de la Vega, ¿cómo te atreves? ¿No ves que es tu hermana? Tran. Yeah, I have seen a lot of novelas lately.
Yeah. Anyway, here we go. Yeah, here's more information, and this is exactly what I thought. Set to star, that is in development. Network has not yet been determined. Potential series, you see plenty hedges here. Like this is exactly what I said, just based
Right.
on like this is very early days, may not happen, and it's obviously one of Wilder Valderrama's passion projects because he is so prominently featured. So it all depends on him here, obviously.
Well, the one thing that's interesting here is the Marsh is John Gertz, Mask of Zorro, Legend of Zorro will executive produce for Zorro Productions,
Yeah,
which
but
owns
that's
the rights.
yes, but that alone is not really all that surprising
No?
because you know how
Okay.
you know how he operates because you can't make anything new Zorro without going through him. You have to acquire the license, and his business isn't just protecting the Zorro legacy. That's also his enterprise and what he monetizes. What he lives from is selling Zorro licenses. So whenever someone comes and says, "Hey, we want to do a Zorro series," then you're like, "Okay, do you have so and so much money for the license?" Yes. Okay, brilliant. Here you go.
Wait,
And that's kind of how that works.
Isn't Zorro or some of the characters on public domain?
Yes, some of the original stories are
Probably
public
the
domain.
stories, right?
However,
The
this isn't
character is
about
licensed.
publishing the original stories. This is about making a new adventure with a copyrighted character. To create new entertainment, you have to, or you ideally should, at the very least, um, do so in conjunction with Zorro Productions, because that way it will be an official licensed Zorro product. Whereas if you don't, it's just like a fan film or an unlicensed stuff, of which there are a good amount out there already, to be clear. But anyway, just that he granted the license doesn't have to mean much, because he also granted the license to the hacker Zorro and to the 3 or 4 or 5 different female Zorros that we've had there. So again,
Well,
that doesn't
yeah.
mean that much, because that's how they create money for the estate. It's by selling these licenses. And it doesn't matter if the series gets made or not. I mean, they don't do anything more than that. They sell off the license, then they live off the licensing revenue, and then they get like a mandatory producer credit, and they can read some scripts and give some input and stuff like that. But that alone doesn't push it any closer to actually being made. I mean, if it doesn't get made, then it's almost better for them, because that way they get to keep that licensing money and they can license it out again.
Free money. Nice.
Yes, exactly. That's how it is. So for every single Zorro project that was announced but that didn't end up made, there was quite a few tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars that were transferred to Zorro Inc. So yeah, don't read too much into that.
Yeah, and it says here in the story that it says more recently NBC was developing a modern day Zorro with a female lead that was executive produced by Robert Rodriguez and Sofia Vergara. So I don't know if that
sounds like that's dead now, because when it said more recently in past tense with no reference to it still being developed, because if it was still being developed, they would have phrased it differently. They would have said that this project has no relation to the other Zorro project
The ongoing
that's
project.
being developed over at. Instead, he's saying in the past tense that they also did develop, meaning it's dead now.
Yeah, and they did not mention the new Zorro hacker movie.
That's
that they would have to.
more. That's a little bit. They wouldn't necessarily have to,
right.
Because that's a movie versus a series, right?
Also, it's a new project.
Correct.
There's not much work on it, so there's no need for.
Because that actually could be why we're getting this thing right now. It could be like the female Zorro TV series, that was what occupied the exclusive Zorro TV rights, right? And then when that was no longer happening, the rights reverted back to Zorro Inc., who were then free to license the rights out again to the highest bidder. And that might have been this. This might be why we're getting this announcement. This actually could mean that the female Zorro project died last week officially, that the rights were sent back again, and now we're getting this instead, meaning another paycheck to Zorro Inc. But it has no relation to the movie because that's a different license.
Awesome. Thank you.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.